Down in the den, so go tell a friend. The best podcast on earth is about to begin. We got jokes and news and movie reviews. After Dark NC-17 with the crew. Interviews with the best artists around. So like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now. Let's go. Like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now. So like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now. Let's go. Like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now. Welcome back to another episode of Down in the Den. It's your boy Mars, aka Marlon Beardo, the bearded weirdo, the Stella Rosa Casanova, the creator of culture, and the should knight of this podcast game. And as we come to the end of our 6-year run of Down in the Den, I told you we had big things in store in Marz Media. I told you that it wasn't just the beginning, it was a brand new era. And what I have today, I have a part of the team that is going to take us into the brand new era. So without any further ado, I'm going to introduce everyone. We're going to tell you what we're doing here, and then we're going to have some serious geek culture chat that I think you guys are going to love. So first, I'm going to go around the room, and you know who I am. I'm your boy Mars. We've been doing this for 6 long years now. But what we're doing, we're putting together a team for a brand new channel, a brand new evolution of what we do here in Marz Media, all about the things that you love in the DC universe, the MCU universe, anime, video games, and more. So this is going to be huge growth, and I'm so proud to introduce part of the team. And we have even more teammates, but this is who here is going to be here today on this pilot episode. So we're going to begin, like we always do on every episode of Down in the Den, with our origin story. We're going to talk about exactly what made us fall in love with comic books, what made us fall in love with the MCU, and what brought us together in this Voltron-like conglomeration of talented individuals. So I'll start with myself first. As you guys know, music is my first love, but right after that is comic books. And the very first comic book I read that just made me fall in love was Death in the Family. I had the DC novel when Jason Todd kicked the bucket. Joker hit him with a crowbar. My brother bought that for me with his very first paycheck. I was about 8 years old. And my very first movie that made me fall in love with comic books was 1989's Batman, Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson, Tim Burton. I was an 8-year-old when that came out, but boy, it blew my mind. And ever since then, I've been addicted. Justice League, Batman the Animated Series, Teen Titans, everything you can name. I've followed every MCU movie I've seen, good ones and the bad. Every DCU and DCEU movie I've seen, the good ones and the bad. I've even seen Morbius 2 times. So one can say I'm well versed in this comic culture. So that is my origin story. And we'll just go counterclockwise right around the room. Nick, if you want to let everybody know your name, where you're from, and how you fell in love with this comic book culture.
Well, I fell in love with the comic book culture thanks to the 1990s animated TV shows by superheroes like Batman the Animated Series, Spider-Man the Animated Series, the X-Men Animated Series back in the 90s. And then my first comic book, right before that I could even read, my father got me the mini comic of Batman Mask of the Phantasm adaptation. So I couldn't read by that time. I was like 3 to 4 years old. That was my first comic. But when you think about issues, like real comics, not an adaptation or anything like that, it was Avengers 299, which the art was by John Buscema, and it was written and scripted by Walt Simonson. It was during the Inferno crossover. So that was my first Marvel Comics official issue. And the first DC Comics that I got on my hands was Justice League number 4, 1987, right before they were called Justice League International. So, that started my love for comic books, and Justice League International is my favorite comic book series from DC Comics to this day. And from Marvel, I would say my favorite run is Fantastic Four by John Byrne. So,
classic, some good chops right there. Good chops. Who's next?
80s. 80s. Even though I'm a 90s baby, you know. So
All right. Hey, I'm the Mad Lion. I just want to say peace. And I want to tell first thing I want to say, Sean, that was a amazing intro.
Appreciate you, brother.
I would say my my first comic was probably um the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the comic
Mm,
for the cartoon, not the actual like indie comic, the earlier one. I got it off the spinner rack at the local grocery store back when spinner racks were still around. And I would say cartoons are what really got me into comics, like at a young age. I would say like reruns of the Super Friends, um, Spider-Man is Amazing Friends, and we're about the same age, Sean. So yeah, I would say Batman '89 was, how huge that was back then,
phenomenal. It
and
was
that
a
that
true
really got me
phenom at the
into
time.
it as well. Yeah, that's what got me into DC. I was a late bloomer on the comics. I'm not gonna lie, I'm still pretty much more of a Marvel head per se. My first Marvel comics, when I actually really started collecting, um, my mom bought me Amazing Spider-Man, Round Robin, The Sidekick's Revenge, and that's what really got me into actual reading comics. Was Amazing Spider-Man, and Mark Bagley is still one of my favorite artists to this day. As a matter of fact,
It's a genius.
I say I didn't really start reading DC seriously until like Death of Superman, um, and like Nightfall, Night Quest, Batman. That's when I really started getting into reading DC. And the other cartoons that were, I would say, huge for me were definitely Batman the animated series and X-Men the animated series, and Spider-Man. But I was really more into the mature storylines and stuff. It was a little bit more mature with Batman the animated series and X-Men.
Yeah, I think those two shows are core in every comic head's heart. Like, I mean, and fun fact, the X-Men theme song is Whitney Houston, My Baby Tonight, just sped up. Check that out if you don't believe me.
I'm
It's
gonna look that up,
wow.
man.
look it up.
That's
It
interesting.
blew my mind when I found that out. All right, last but not least, brother, introduce yourself and let the people know how you fell in love with comic culture.
Yeah, it's your boy Donovan, Mr. MAO from Miami. I fell in love with comics, man, mostly from Spider-Man, the animated series, Justice League, X-Men, Batman. You know the usual, man. You know, late 80s, 90s babies. My first comics that I had in my hands, man, Gen X and the Titans, man. I can't remember the name because I was a kid. My dad just went to the store and bought them for me. But after that, I kind of fell in love with the medium. That plus playing the video games, man. Separation Anxiety, X-Men 1, X-Men 2, Clone Wars, Justice League fighting games, like TMNT, like all that stuff, man. I just fell in love with it. And just it's been a part of my childhood since then. Um current My current collection right now is mostly Marvel. There is a little bit of DC in there as well. I always preferred Marvel over DC growing up. I felt Marvel was a little bit more grounded, if that makes sense. I felt they were a little bit more realistic. I didn't really like DC until maybe 10 years or so. I always felt characters like Superman were kind of just overpowered and could do anything. But then as I got older, I realized it takes the right writer to like really bring the best out of a character. So I
100.
mean, that's pretty much it, really. I mean, my current runs that I have right now, I avoid everything Spider Man. Currently is a shame to say, he is my favorite superhero. That's pretty much it. I mean, only thing I'm reading right now really is absolute stuff, absolute Batman, and primarily.
How
Gotta check
how
out
are you
this
enjoying
Green
that
Arrow.
run though? I was just wondering. I haven't started it.
Well, you broke up, what happened?
No, I was asking you how what are your thoughts on the absolute run? I haven't really actually started it.
Absolutely, they're absolutely destroying Marvel. No pun intended.
Yeah,
Like
That's the the feel I'm getting from people actually reading it.
I'm a big
absolute.
fan of the Absolute Universe. It's I've said it before in our group chat. If and I'm skipping ahead a little bit before we get on our topic, but if the DCU ends up getting rebooted again, Absolute might be the way to go. But I further digress. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So thank you guys. Thank you for introducing yourself. Thank you for sharing a little bit of your past, a little bit of how you fell in love with this culture of ours. And man, this show is going to be a highlight of the culture. It's going to be conversation from real guys who are, from completely different backgrounds and who come together for this love and passion of the game of comic culture. And I think it's going to be something that really just impacts more people like us. We don't have any agendas here. We just want to share what we feel is incredible art to the people. So, with that being said, we're going to get right into it. We're going to get right into our first topic. It's Sunday at the time of recording. We're about here on the East Coast. We're about 5-6 hours away from episode 2 of Lanterns. So, let's talk about Lanterns episode 1. And before we do that, I am going to play just a little highlight clip here that I have of Lanterns episode 1. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the DCU, the current state. They've had some moderate successes. They've had some flops. There's been some questions on the direction and where we're going. So let's play this clip first, and then we're going to get right into the chat. So let me go ahead and pull this up for you guys to view. One moment. All right. Share the screen.
Tonight, a 60 Minutes exclusive. 10 years ago, no one on Earth was aware we were already under the protection of someone calling himself Green Lantern. Then, without warning, he made himself known, dramatically stopping a meteor from devastating Victoria Falls. Or at least he made himself partially known. Here now, we bring you the first ever heart-to-heart with a superhero. Are you nervous?
I don't get nervous. Part of the job description.
Of course.
Excited.
In that case, who are you?
I'm Hal Jordan.
Marcus, you're gonna get us all in trouble. Just watch the window.
So, what do you want the world to know about you?
I'm an Air Force veteran. I'm a former test pilot. And really, just that I'm a regular person, like you.
Except that you're also Earth's first Green Lantern.
There is that too.
In many ways, Hal Jordan was born for the role he would eventually play. His father was a...
All right, so that's just a little clip to kind of establish the tone of the show for those at home who have not viewed the first episode. I believe.
Can't hear you, bro.
Oh, my bad. Can you hear me now?
I hear you.
I hear you.
All right. Can everyone hear me? You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Good. All right. So that's just a little clip to establish a little bit of the tone. First off, has everyone seen episode 1?
Yes,
Yeah.
I have.
I've seen it twice now.
Wow,
let's
twice.
go around the room, rating it on a scale from 1 to 5. 1 being absolute rubbish, and 5 being, legendary, epic. Where's everyone giving the rating for episode
I
1?
can't hear you guys at all.
You're having tech issues, most likely.
Yeah, because we all hear each other. Well, he doesn't hear us right now.
Yeah.
How do we communicate with him?
I can go in the private chat.
Okay.
All right, log out. In the meanwhile, who wants to go first with their rating? All right, he's gonna
Well,
come.
I don't know
I'll
if I
let
should.
Nick go first.
Okay, you're gonna let me go first. I was
Uh-huh.
expecting for you to light the match just in case.
I think my rating is going to be more generous than yours.
Mine, well, if we're going by the 5-star rating, I might say it's a 3.
Okay,
You
so
know,
right up the middle, little.
right up the middle, yeah. Because there's some stuff that I like about the premise, but I feel like the premise about being grounded on the show, based obviously on budget, options that they had, to present this project, I feel it could have been executed a little bit better. Now, when you see that intro clip right there, that's basically the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
That says that's introducing us to this version of Green Lantern in the DCU that's connected to the movies of James Gunn and this cinematic universe. Did you notice that the reporter said superhero? So in some ways, it's like they are still clarifying they're superheroes or not even heroes. But my biggest criticism is I feel it's a little bit dark, and it doesn't have to really do
Yeah.
with the grounded. And for Green Lantern, and obviously we're not going to get into the other lanterns, maybe they could appear. That's why the show's title is Lanterns, and we don't say a specific color. It's a little bit, grim. That's how I felt. From the cinematography colors, even thought we're at a desert area. They feel kind of like a little bit dark, opaque for.
I think it feels more like it's set in the Snyderverse, in the
Yeah,
DCEU. That's what it feels like. I was telling Donovan the other day that it was actually first conceived at the tail end of the Snyderverse, and I think that's why it made feel like that. Like it doesn't really feel like the tone doesn't really even feel like it fits in James Gunn's DCU. Like you said, it's very dark, it's very mature. It's rated. Well, a lot of his stuff is rated R, but it's definitely more lighthearted, like campy kind of.
yeah,
You
yeah,
guys know how
and
I feel about James Gunn. The guy's a fucking idiot.
whoa, take
Sorry.
it easy.
So I will, man.
Tell us how you really feel. No.
Yeah,
I agree with Mick. I've always my introduction to Green Lantern was, of course, the Justice League cartoon. So John Stewart was my Green Lantern. I always thought the Green Lanterns were a little corny growing up, to be honest, to be 100% honest. I was definitely more of a Batman guy.
Yeah.
Didn't really like Superman. I felt, once again, there's not really too many challenges if you don't have a green rock with you. With Superman, there's really nothing to overcome. I've always been more attracted to the Marvel real world grounded. Definitely gives Snyderverse, even gives a little Nolan verse with this Green Lantern. The actors,
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Kyle
Chandler,
Chandler.
Kyle Chandler, phenomenal. He gives me what I would, because Hal Jordan has always been presented a bit of a jerk, bit of a hothead,
Yeah,
Flash, and when you think about it, he's been the Green Lantern since 1986. So you're talking 40 years. He's gonna be a little. He's gonna be an asshole. He's gonna be a bit of an asshole.
More seasoned,
Season,
maybe jaded. Yeah.
yeah, giving me
A
I'm
bit.
too old for this. I think it was an interesting choice to kind of mix the True Detective, and I love the first season of True Detective, the season with Matthew McConaughey and would love that show. I've probably seen it 100 times.
It's a
Only the first season.
masterpiece.
Yeah,
It's a
only,
masterpiece.
It
only the first
really
season.
is, yeah.
I have
Best
not
season.
watched it, but I hear it's incredible.
Oh man, do yourself a favor. I even like season 2. It's a drop in quality, but I still enjoyed it.
Let me
I
let
haven't
me give it
seen
to
the
you.
third one though.
Let me give it to you, Donovan, about True Detective. It's the best slow burner show that pays off. Okay,
Yes.
Really?
people are
Yeah.
gonna say, "Oh, it's slow," and I'm like, keep on watching, because the show, man, it has so many layers, and it's so well acted by Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson. Both of them are amazing, great chemistry, great acting, their personal stories, how they get involved with the main plot. Man, you gotta watch it. It's the best slow burner that pays off.
Yeah.
I'm
I
definitely gonna give
think
it a
that's
shot.
what Lanterns is lacking is it feels like Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan, they don't have that same chemistry. I know it's only the first episode, but it's like Kyle Chandler, he just chews the scenery. I think he's amazing as Hal Jordan right now.
He
And
is.
then the other guy's what's his name? Aaron Pierre, I
Yeah,
think.
Aaron Pierre. That's the
He
guy that
feels
plays
like
Jon
a
Stewart.
block of wood so far.
And
Well,
that makes sense when you look at his origin. I mean,
He's
I
so
don't know
stoic, I guess.
if any of you have ever been shot at by your dad with an apple on your head. It probably changes your psyche a little bit. So
Yeah.
it kind
Wait,
of
why I'm sorry, why did his dad shoot him with an apple on his head? I didn't see the first episode. What happened?
so basically I think it's to test his fear. And what fear is he
yeah.
gonna shake? Is he gonna and if you pay attention to the first episode, you will see bullet holes, meaning he's been doing this for years.
Okay, see, I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a deep cut right there.
And
I watched it twice and missed that.
Right.
And also, his father tells him,
Yeah.
"Are you afraid?"
And he's
You
like,
know,
no.
He says no,
yeah, and
sir.
he's like basically psychologically getting ready in a way for something. And then you see you go back to the television where he's watching the Hal Jordan interview. So, that will kind of relate. Let's see how it shows up, because it looks like a little bit like a hero's journey for Jon Stewart, right? When we think
Mhm.
about it. Because, we're seeing him as a child admiring Hal Jordan and what his father put him through with firing an apple at the top of his head,
Okay.
Yeah, it gives almost
I was kind of
childhood.
confused about the scene because it felt like because the his siblings were like, hurry up and turn the TV off. I didn't know if he wasn't supposed to be watching anything about Hal Jordan, or was it like past curfew to be watching TV, or were they supposed to be in bed? And then it almost felt like, yeah, it was like training, maybe quasi training, but it almost felt like punishment. So I don't know if that's what you guys got from it, but I was kind of like confused, really.
It gave me a combination of the two, because in the comic book, you don't really see John Stewart's father. He's more of a single parent living with his mom. So this is a little bit of change to the canon.
Okay.
And I find it interesting that his father is John Stewart Sr., which is not from the comics. His father has a different name in the comic book. So I wouldn't be surprised if we find out that maybe his father had potentially got an option to be a lantern and failed because of fear. And so he's preparing his son. I have a lot of theories, but it
That'd be
definitely
interesting.
gave a mix of punishment mixed with preparation, almost like a child soldier vibe. Like, let me condition, almost like John Connor from Terminator 2. Like, I know something's coming. Let me condition this kid so he can be the humanity. That's just my theory. How about you guys? Any theories so far?
I see, right, because we barely saw anything with John Stat, right, and his siblings.
Right.
So I see it also a little bit more like the other siblings were afraid of his dad due to the military nature. You know how they say, oh, military brats, oh, we got to do this, we got to do that. If not, that is going to kill us, right? That type of expression. That's how I saw it. But then John may show something different. And also, when we see later in the episode, John is talking to his father on the cell phone, right? So it's like maybe it was a test from his father. Maybe his father always saw potential in John. You know, we don't
And
know.
then you had the comment that kind of made me cringe a little bit. What did he say about they? He was talking about white people in particular. I think he was like talking on white privilege. That basically, they can be emotional or unhinged, but we don't have that
It was something to
luxury
the
or
fact that
something.
they can make
Yeah,
mistakes and we can't, or something to that effect. That was a little bit
yeah.
later in the episode after
Mhm.
Hal, which Hal would have had to run me my fade if you throw me in the car with a ring and just as a test. He would have had to
I
run me.
did like that though. That was pretty interesting. That
It was awesome. It was awesome.
yeah,
And
because it forces you to get past the working out the kinks, and it makes you just your life's on the line, so you boom, you
yeah,
create something.
trial by fire.
Yep.
Trial by fire. Absolutely. So I think Mick, you touched on it. How how do you feel? How do you guys feel about this? Oh, and everybody rating. I gave it a 4. How about the rest of you guys?
Yeah, I gave it at least a 3.5 or 4. I thought it was a solid opener. The ending, I think, is what rubbed most people the wrong way with uh killing off Hal essentially in the first episode. But I do like that it's you could see with the previews, it's gonna be like Arrow and it's gonna jump. They're cheating. They've killed him off in the first episode and really set the tone. But at the same time, he's not gone from the series.
Right.
They're gonna do the flashbacks and forth.
And that's something they did in True Detective. They hopped different timelines with the characters, so it's very similar. I also, because I kind of pay attention to the details, there were 2 details where I think it could possibly be a fake out. One, he said, I believe 14 different alien species that can conveniently, perfectly mimic humans. So
Yes.
Hmm.
I think that's a potential exit. And then I call it the Tony Stark AI, the backup of the consciousness of his ring. Even if he remains dead, him having that consciousness backs up gives them an option to use him any way they want.
I
So
totally forgot about that, man. So
yeah,
even though he's dead, he's still gonna be in the ring
he's in that.
interacting with John. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's a younger, less jaded version of him too, more heroic version of him. So I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many potential outs. It's definitely, I think it's going to be a mystery. And I have, like I said, a 4 for the first episode. Where I'm going to be completely honest, I did not have high hopes for the show. When I first saw that Hal Jordan dusty uniform that wasn't green, I got a little disappointed. I didn't want the Ryan Reynolds
Me too.
uniform, but I also
Oh
didn't.
God.
Just gave
Mm-mm.
myself a bad
Well,
feeling.
that comment at I forget whatever venue that was by David Lindelof or one of the writers, and they said Green was stupid. I mean, that tells you where their mind is from their whole approach. Greg Berlanti from the CW and all them associated shows, when they first pitched this, HBO was the one that asked for the True Detective premise, and Greg Berlanti refused and turned it down.
Yeah, he wanted space, which is,
Yeah.
when you think about budget at that point, are you going to invest in $200 million in a TV show that has really no way to make that money back? There's no advertisement on HBO Max. It's not going to
I
bring.
think that's
Right.
proof that it should be a movie.
Should be a movie.
It should be a
Yeah.
movie. Yeah.
Do it properly though. Don't. I mean,
Yeah. But when you think about it, we got shows like The Orville and we got those Star Trek shows, right?
Right.
Which are
So
like
it
heavy.
can be done right as a show.
Absolutely.
You got a point, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, We had Star Trek. Every decade of my life, we've had a version of Star Trek. We've seen what Disney Plus was able to do, even though some of the storylines were piss poor visually, they look pretty good with the Star Wars show. So it can be done. I think it's a creative choice. I think it's a budgetary choice because let's be honest, the original Green Lantern from 2011 flopped so hard, it hasn't been touched in 15 years for a reason.
Yeah.
So I think they're having a little foreplay with this property. Put a little lube on, ease it in a little bit before they,
I
spread
think
it.
Zaslav is just a cheapskate, and
Yeah.
everything he's been doing is trying to just transition it to selling off WB.
Can't blame him at the same time, though.
It's a business.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes, business.
from a business perspective, I smart trying to save on budget on something that's already proven, like True Detective, but I don't know. I don't think that's what most people expect from a Green Lantern property.
No, we want space. We want spacefaring. We want space cops on Earth. We want Hal. We want Kyle. We want Guy. Hal. We want I'll even take
Kilowog.
I don't think we're
Jessica.
gonna see Kyle. I don't think we're not gonna see Kyle.
Oh,
Kyle's
James
on-
Gunn already said that
Yeah.
publicly that he does
Kyle's
not
on the
like the character.
Yep.
Kyle's going to be on one of the episodes this season, so he will.
Are
he
you
will-
serious?
Yeah. I've seen the clip. If you go to, they have a real, they have a podcast from the creators, and he is going to be on the show. In fact, at the end of the podcast, and I should have cut a clip from that, he said that Guy has Hal's ring. So even
I
though
did hear that as well.
yeah,
Yeah,
even
Guy.
though,
Yeah,
That's
but,
confirmed.
yeah, even though it looked different in the movie, and also that movie took place in 2025, and Hal died in 2026, so that could be some plot holes there. But once again, it's the first episode. I'll give it time. But I did make it.
tell.
Yeah, too early to tell.
I've got my gripes. I've definitely got my gripes with the episode, but I feel like that's why I give it a solid rating, like a 4, because I feel like it did its job. I want to see where it's going. I'm interested in all these different plot threads and the mystery they've established. And I mean, you can't ask for too much more from a pilot episode, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it did its job. It makes me want to see episode 2, and that's the only responsibility of the pilot, to make you watch episode 2. And with that, I would say it was successful. Do you think it's enough to save the DCU? However, because Superman financially, there's an argument on how profitable it was. I personally, knowing the cost of marketing, I don't think it made much profit at all.
Nope.
Supergirl,
It broke even at best.
At best, Supergirl's going to end up losing at least $100 million.
Supergirl lost more than that. If my heard was correct,
100 million is a lot in itself, and so
they lost more than that. From what I understand,
they did too with marketing.
Yeah, it lost a lot more than that.
Peacemaker, quality-wise, and to me, dropped right off the cliff. And Creature Commandos, while it was interesting to start your universe on an animated show that barely connects, is a questionable
hard
decision.
on.
Yeah. So what do you guys think? Is this going to be enough to turn the ship, or is Gunn's fate already sealed?
I'm gonna be nice. I ain't gonna go crazy because I know I don't like James Gunn, but absolutely not. You gonna pack this dude up, man. It's over with. He had a hit with Guardians. That's it, bro. He y'all said it yourselves. He's not a fan of Kyle Rayner. Like, just because you're not a fan of characters and stuff doesn't mean you get to deprive the fans. Like, the guy's a dummy, man. Like, pack him up. His fate is sealed. It's over with. He lost him too much money. His rambling, his lies. I mean, this dude's he's a bum, yo. Like, get him out of here. Get him out of this space, like, immediately.
Him being chronically online, I think, is definitely a problem when you're the head of uh film studio.
Yes, you
Yeah.
should do one or the other. Either you're the boss, or you're the person,
The chief
behind the
creative.
camera, the chief. Yes, the chief creator. You can't do both. Like he announced the what is it, the People versus Gorilla Grodd,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
he's getting destroyed. Me being one of those people, happily destroying him. Like no, nobody. How are you gonna introduce a Gorilla Grodd Jimmy Olsen show? No Flash,
that's
really?
no Batman, no Wonder Woman. I mean, and then it's like all these obscure properties, one after another, and most of them are R rated. I mean, what if I want to take my kid to go see? You know what I mean? I can't watch Peacemaker with my daughter. Are you
No,
kidding me? There's a freaking orgy in the first episode.
no,
Well,
absolutely not.
That's crazy.
my biggest criticism with Lanterns, I guess, is the profanity. It's
That's
like
a
this is Green
character.
Lantern. He's supposed to be heroic. Yes, I get it. People say profanity in real life, but in the show, it got a little way too much. You
I've
know,
got to find a way to watch that series so I can comment.
I'll send you the link to my HBO Max,
Oh, I appreciate it.
and I'll let you check it out because I agree with that. Um, I personally believe Batman Begins and particularly The Dark Knight was so successful that it started a whole generation of dark comic books. Even the Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield was kind of dark, and every
It
character
was.
does fit that tone.
Yeah.
It fits Batman. It fits the Punisher. It fits Daredevil. It fits some of those characters. You even if you look at the CW Green Arrow, that was the Dark Knight, but with Green Arrow.
Dark
Um,
and edgy.
it started this darkness, and I was happy that Superman had lightness and levity and the stuff that I expect from Superman. But there were some choices, him saving a squirrel, the
It was
whole
screaming like a little girl.
yeah, him emotional.
Come
Where's the
on.
dog? Where's the dog? It's like, yeah, like that was an interesting choice. Um, I believe James
Superman
Gunn.
is more of a stoic character.
Yeah, I mean
Should
he's
be.
friendly and he's innocent. One of my favorite episodes from the Superman series was when, or it might have been Justice League. Correct me if I'm wrong. Where they invited Martian Manhunter for Christmas, and Superman was like, "What do you mean there's no Santa?" Like, which is ironic because Santa
Yeah, that
is
was Justice League.
yeah, Justice League. Santa is a character in the DC universe and in the Marvel universe.
He's broken too.
Yeah. So I appreciate that bit of innocence, but it got a little too James Gunny, and I hate to make it an adjective, but James Gunn stuff.
He's
Everybody,
he's a one note. He's kind of one note. You know
he's
what
a
I
one
mean?
pony.
All his
Yes.
antagonists are these like big man baby,
Yeah,
kind of buffoonish characters.
All his movies, they all follow the same formula. And I think I've said this last month in our discussions. It's action, then it's immediately thrown off by some comedy from out of nowhere. And then everybody is out of character for the most part.
yeah,
Like
Yeah.
it's very grating. It's like I for one hated the Superman movie. I'm not gonna say hate it.
uh,
I wasn't a big fan of it. It wasn't to me. It was just like, this isn't Superman. This is not Clark Kent. Like this is not. I don't know. And this guy's gone. I'm quite sure this guy's out of here.
I like the James Gunn Superman movie. I thought he captured the spirit of Superman well, but my biggest criticism of his Superman is his Superman took too many beatings, too many beatdowns, and people tell me, "Oh, it's because it
Yeah.
was a clone of him," and I'm like, "That's no excuse. It's a clone, not the real thing." But he took too many beatdowns. That's not inspirational.
I mean, honestly, you could call that movie the Super Friends. Like, if we're being real, I mean,
Yeah.
he couldn't do anything by himself.
he was outshined by Mr. Terrific in his own movie, and I'm a huge fan of Mr. Terrific. So that I mean, I loved it, but come on now, this is the Superman movie,
Too
and
much
he
screen
had to
time.
share it with a huge ensemble, which is like you said that's what kind of that James Gunn formula that every single movie does.
It was a little too much world building. It's the same problem I had with the DCEU, where they had that scene where Bruce finds the disc, and you have just thrown in scenes of Wonder Woman and Flash and Aquaman with their own logos. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing here? You're telling me Lex Luthor made this file and designed logos for the superheroes?
He's
It's like,
running PR for him.
yeah, I must represent if they start to work for Let's Corp, I'll make sure they have a logo for T-shirts and marketing purposes. It was strange to throw all of these characters in a universe before you throw in the big three. You have Wonder Woman, you had Batman there, not having a Flash, not having a plan for that. I think is going to end up being a crucial mistake. And once again, his putting himself in every film.
And his wife.
And his oh my god.
Oh God, yeah! Don't get me started on that. I'm sure Mick has some comments for that. You ain't Donovan.
I ain't gonna say anything. I'd rather keep it PG-13. You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
Well, we'll just say that James Gunn has a firmly established fetish.
Yep, that's the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
He might sit in a chair, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
But,
and even Lanterns, I believe he kind of oversaw that, and he said, "Okay, go with that episode."
Hey,
Yeah, I that John Stewart felt totally out of character, and it was just so cringe. And why would you divulge all this information to this complete total stranger in the bar? And then he just sits there emotionless while it happens. It was just so cringe to me.
Oh, then the comment the husband made? I mean,
yeah, that was like, whoa. Like he could have at least punched him out, like punched him in the face after he said that or before he said it. Something.
Hey, he gave him a vegan burger and complimented nothing better than
eat off another man's grill. Jesus Christ, that was necessary. Come on.
I'm never going to a cookout again. He ruined it for me. 100%. But yeah, moving on. Great chat, guys. Great chat. Episode 2 airs tonight at 9 p.m. and we're gonna try to get some reaction out there to what you think. I'm very interested to see the rest of the season. And like I said, I think I agree with you guys. I feel the James Gunn DCU experiment is over. I believe his contract expires 2027, and we'll see what we go there. Unfortunately, I don't think, even if this ends up being the best series in the world, I don't know if this universe is going to make it past the second Superman movie, but we'll see.
I think the damage
I think they're going to cordially part ways. They're going to cordially part ways and avoid further bad PR, and he'll go and he'll get hired somewhere else.
He won't be at Marvel. Won't be back at Marvel though.
I doubt that. Yeah,
I doubt that. Maybe he'll do a Guardians 4. Who knows?
I don't want him touching that. I don't want him touching nothing, man.
I think it'll be something more indie, maybe, or some totally unrelated franchise to Marvel or DC.
Put him on the same island with Taika Waititi, away from comics, away from anything that we care about.
Oh, I don't.
Their better stuff is the indie stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys have seen Slither or Super.
They're good.
Or Brightburn.
Yeah, I've seen Brightburn. Yes, I did see that.
All three are great. With little known characters or original characters, he can do wonders. But he does not get the essence of the actual characters at all.
The flagship characters.
With flagship characters, he does his own thing and it doesn't work.
How hard is it to have a mandate? I'm sorry. How hard is it to have a mandate to where you guys have where they have a character Bible. Here are some of the most popular arcs. Here's how this character is supposed to read, move, act, and this is what we go off of. Here, let's go through. Let's talk to some fans. You know, first of all, you shouldn't even hiring these people if they're not fans of the source material. Like, what? Just
100%.
nah, man.
100%.
They want to reinvent the wheel. That's the problem with these executives.
Yeah,
They want to push their agendas.
when the real
Yeah,
wheel
that's
hasn't been created first. So, like I said,
they want to
if
take
you-
credit too.
Yeah, if you stay true to what is already before, and you have, in some cases, almost 100 years of publishing to pick from, that you have a cheat code. So, I don't know why people want to. I always say, why take the steps when the elevator's right there? Just take the elevator. It's easy. So what I'm going to play for us next, this is a clip to the Doomsday trailer. It's probably been seen by everyone. And then we're going to talk a little bit about Doomsday, what we hope, what we expect, and what we're scared of. So here comes the trailer. Check it out.
Something's coming. Something we may not be able to deter. Before this day is done, we shall be faced with an unthinkable decision. I've fought with many warriors in my time. They were far stronger than all of us put together, and they died. They died facing enemies and threats that scared me far less than this one. Everything that they sacrifice will be for nothing if we do not stand together. Put aside your petty squabbles. Presume nothing except this. If you return, you will return as brothers and sisters. But mark my words. We're going to need a miracle. Hey, pal. It's not possible.
All right. So that was the trailer. Start with the elephant in the room. RDJ is Doom. Brilliant casting, or is this Marvel panicking all over again?
Marvel panic.
I think it's desperation. It feels like a move of desperation to me. Everybody wants to see him. I'm sure we're going to see him back as Tony Stark, probably pulling double duty in Secret Wars. But how do you explain this? Why does he look the same? It just creates too much, like, I unnecessarily, like, why? Well, I just don't get it. I really don't. It makes no sense to me. I'm not the biggest fan of that accent. It feels kind of campy to me, which Mick knows. I usually like the camp. I hate when they really shy away from it sometimes, but it's so weird. How are they going to explain it?
So
That's my
let's
question.
talk theories. I have a couple theories. Obviously, in the comic book verse, there's what ifs, there's alternate universes.
Yes.
One thing I kind of pay attention to the context clues that they give. Now, it could be something as simple as Chris Evans is Human Torch, Chris Evans is Captain America. It's the altered universe, and I guess there's only so many faces that go around. I mean, I guess they say everyone has a doppelganger. That to me would be the cheapest and laziest version. There's also the possibility that if he stays masked and he's so hideously scarred, we can't tell anyway. He has a different accent, different background, different universe. Also, that feels cheap and a waste of narrative opportunities with the other characters having an emotional attachment to their lost fallen friend and making them vulnerable. But one thing that I noticed the Russo said, he said only RDJ could play this version of Doom. So there's got to be a connection there. It's got to be.
But I've also seen where they said it's not a Tony Stark variant. He is Victor Von Doom. So,
but they never
unless
said
that's a lie.
Here's the thing: they never said Tony Stark is not a Victor Van Doom variant.
I've heard that too. But doesn't that delude the main character of the MCU? So you're telling me he's a cheap knockoff of Doom then?
I think
our main POV character of the MCU.
It's really how they execute it. And I'm talking about they have to do this with a laser. They cannot use a scalpel. It has to be a flawless execution if they go in that route. Because it literally, like you said, it can cheapen the prior 11, 12, 15 years of history we've had in the MCU.
I think it dilutes both characters. It just waters down, dilutes. It does no favors to the entire MCU. Like, why not just cast a great actor? I mean, I've seen so many fan casts that are better than this.
I always thought Cillian Murphy, especially coming off of Oppenheimer, was a no-brainer.
Heck yeah.
I was about to say that.
Oh, yeah. He has the age to do a couple of movies as Doom.
Yep.
He's mature enough to do Victor Von Doom. He can pull off an Eastern European accent. You know,
I will say, I do think that to answer your earlier question, Sean, I do think that it is desperation. But I also think it's a little bit smart, knowing you have a familiar face. Like, he was the face. You know, RDJ was the face of the MCU. So I think you have that. It automatically pulls people in, but it is desperation, though. At the end of the day, no matter what you do, they're desperate. They know they screwed up early with Phase 4 and 5. They did a terrible job, and they're gonna do a big reset. I hope. After this, I'm okay with. You know what? I am okay with him as Doom. I was very skeptical at first, as I told you guys, but once that I saw that trailer, that accent, I love Doom. I'm a big Doom fan, so I was like, I've had to sit through 2 iterations of a terrible live action Doom, so I'm very excited. This seems right on the button. If you're fans of Hickman like myself, then it seems like we're getting 2015 Secret Wars version of Doom, and I'm here for it.
Oh yeah,
I tell you what,
I think by Secret Wars, I might be sold.
Yeah, I'll know at the end of this movie if it was I'll probably know a third through the movie if the performance is so phenomenal that I'm just like, I don't give a shit, and he's the only one that could have done it. I will overlook the nostalgia bait because, once again, to my understanding, he's going to be masked 95% of the movie. So
I like that.
That takes away a little bit of the element. He has a different voice. I mean, they were going to have Cottonmouth be Blade before that was canceled. They've recast Gemma Chan. I'm even hearing Lee Pace might be the new Magneto. So they've recycled several actors in the MCU as it is. And so I'm interested. I love the Hickman run. Doom is my ultimate Marvel villain for me.
Same.
And like you said, the iterations, no offense to the late, I forgot the actor that just passed that played him in the version with Jessica Alba.
Julian
Oh,
McMahon.
Yes.
Rest in
Yeah.
peace, Julian McMahon. And then the Fantastic Four, Michael B. Jordan. I don't even count that as a Doom. That was just.
I skipped that movie. I
Yeah.
That
couldn't
was
do it, man.
disgusting.
That was just.
I don't even know what to say about that.
I couldn't do it. Making him adopt. No, bro.
Making
I
him.
couldn't do it.
Yeah, that was a hot bag of feces. I don't know what was going on there.
You a brave man. Thank you for watching that on our behalf.
I watched it too, man. I mean, it started out okay, but once they became the actual like Fantastic Four, it just started going downhill from there.
The concept.
I like the opening with Reed and Ben as friends and the whole science fair thing. But that's probably about all the good I have to say about that movie.
Yeah. And the wig from the obvious reshoots that Kate Mara's Invisible Woman, Sue Storm, and then with the whole race swap Michael B. Jordan thing, and
that was weird.
I am a proponent of making the character as close to the original character as possible.
Yes.
Because if I want to buy a Mercedes and I open the hood and it's got a Toyota logo, I'm going to be a little hot. So I'm not a fan of race swapping when it's essential to the character, if that makes sense. Someone like James
Magneto.
Ford, race
you got there's one of my fears, because they have already said that he's not going to be connected to the Holocaust.
I mean, it gets to a point just age-wise. We can't have 100-year-old man.
Well, see, I told Nick, here's the answer. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the characters. They even had one of them in the X-Men the animated series, and she just popped back up in '97. I forget what the character's name is. That black goddess character that's associated with the Thieves Guild and Assassins Guild and Apocalypse, but she is part of a rare sub-race of mutants called the Externals, not to be confused with the Eternals. Yeah, and so they're all essentially immortal or very slow aging. They've got like kind of like healing factors. They're kind of hard to kill. They come back almost from the dead or like, life-threatening wounds. So I mean, there's your answer right there.
Yeah, and they've even said that, if you recall, in the Fox X-Men, the young class, Beast was like, "Oh, Mystique barely ages," So they established that already. I've also even said, "Hey, maybe Hydra captured him and froze him for a little bit."
Experimentation.
That could work.
Suspended animation.
Similar to Bucky. You could find out he was a part of the Winter Soldier program. There's lots of options you can do to keep that very essential part of the character. But who knows? Who knows?
Personally, I just think you just keep it to where he ages slowly, because remember, he's an Omega level mutant. He controls a lot of stuff in his body.
Yeah.
We're talking about a man whose heart was ripped out of his body, and he kept his body going
from bleeding out. Yeah, and what was it? AXE Judgment Day.
Garbage, but I mean
that was a highlight though. Definitely,
that was a highlight though. Yeah,
and that can work. You can do some pseudoscience. Oh, the magnetism ages him 50% slower than your average human.
Yeah, that's what I told Tyler right away. They need to play with his magnetism powers. That he knows how much. He needs to live up to his name, the Master of Magnetism. So, he's such the Master of Magnetism that he knows how to age slow and also heal his body with magnetism.
It's too essential to the character to make him not Jewish and connected to the Holocaust. And like I told Mick, if they absolutely have to do this modern update, why don't they do something like the ethnic cleansing back in the what, like was it the 90s, the Bosnia, Serbia, Yugoslavia? They could use that as inspiration and say maybe it's between, you know, Latvia and Sokovia.
Yeah.
You can even keep it in-house MCU continuity.
Yeah, there's a ton of options that they can do. To be honest, I'm kind of tired, and I love Magneto. He's probably my second favorite Marvel character. I always say Magneto was right.
Yes.
But with Mr. Sinister and Adam Driver, do we really need Magneto in these first couple of movies?
I'm gonna say
I don't think so.
I don't
Wait,
think
maybe in the background, or maybe that he's there somewhere, but you don't really need him yet. You know,
a
he's
cameo
already been
at best.
overdone.
Yeah, I mean, it
Cameo after credit scene at best.
and I'm gonna say too, I think it's very hard to compare. You know, you're automatically, no matter what you get with this new Magneto, you're automatically gonna have comparisons to Michael Fassbender and Ian McKellen. They were both phenomenal. It's gonna be very hard to top. Just my 2 cents.
You got to cast it really strong, and I love that Adam Driver is Mr. Sinister though, and we got an actor of that caliber could lift up a lesser known character that hasn't appeared in live action yet.
Whatever they do, I do not want the Krakoan post Krakoa era Mr. Sinister.
No,
God, no. They ruined it. Like the whole Dominion and you know, like I don't want none of that stuff. Like,
and also, he's not really a mutant. Why the hell he was in Krakoa? He was one of the biggest, you know, genocidal maniacs against mutants by experimenting on them.
Yeah, it's very
that makes no sense. I've never got Juggernaut as an X-Men either.
Well, he's not a mutant.
X-Men.
His powers are magical.
Correct. He's not a mutant.
Yeah. X-Men tend to be a little generous with their joining. They're like, "You cool? Come on, join us. You don't have to have."
Yeah. Now,
wasn't Carol Danvers their pilot at one point or something?
I don't know.
I don't think so, but you know, she has that connection with Rogue, which I think will definitely be a great way to write Brie Larson out.
Please pack her up.
That's for our third topic. So with Doomsday, we have the big three, kind of. You got Thor back. Thor looks the best that he's been since Infinity War. We've got, we've got Steve Rogers, or also, Black Shirt Man.
Nomad?
Nomad, or as
allegedly. We haven't been confirmed he's named Nomad, but, that's the route they wanted to go in Infinity War.
Right.
If you go Nomad, give him some kind of dark suit or, soldier looking Call of Duty, something like a t-shirt and jeans, man. Like, come on, bro. Like, and then it's like you bring back, everybody expects him back as Captain America. You promote it in the first couple trailers, and he comes back and he's t-shirt and jeans, man. Like, I mean, come on, bro. That puts a damper on his big comeback to me.
It's just hard for me, as the character that they've established since 2011 with the first Avenger. It's hard for me to think that even if he goes to another universe, he starts his life with Peggy, he has a son. I can't see him just letting stuff go on without.
He's got to be Nomad at the very least.
I'm hoping that we have there, and Chris Evans has said that they're going to really wreck him in this movie. I expect some darkness that like we've never seen in the MCU from this particular film.
I think he's going to be the emotional anchor. Him and Doom.
Agreed.
What about Toby?
No,
I think Toby's going to be in there for 5 minutes.
You think so? Nah, I think he's going to play a big part.
10 minutes at best.
I disagree. I disagree.
He'll be a big part of Secret Wars, but I think Doomsday They want to establish the Thunderbolts, Sam's Avengers, the Wakandans, the Talic, whatever, the Atlanteans, and the Fantastic Four. I think that's going to be the focus of Doomsday. And
This
they're
is
weak.
the
They're
D
weak.
League Avengers.
But
Yeah,
see, what people aren't going to expect though is this. The Russo brothers have said from the beginning that this is basically the same formula that's going to be like Infinity War and
It's just
Endgame.
permanent.
Yeah, and so they're saying that some of these deaths are going to be permanent. And I think it's going to catch a lot of people off guard. I think Shang-Chi's death might be permanent because they've canceled his sequel because it was too tied to Kang Dynasty. And
Oh, did they?
yeah. He's like the male version of a Brie Larson kind of.
I don't get that from him. He doesn't.
Well, you haven't been paying attention to his comments.
No,
like
I have not. I follow him on Twitter.
Every chance that he gets, man, he's crying, he's virtue signaling. It's all he called the Shang-Chi comics racist. Like,
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And
oh
also
yeah, he destroyed some budding company with some boba tea company, and he said the I guess he exposed the owners weren't Asian, and it like destroyed their business. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
That's a messed up thing to do.
Also, he denied signing early Shang-Chi comics because he said they were racist.
Yep, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, pack him up.
He's not doing himself any favors. He's in the same category as Mark Ruffalo and Brie Larson, as like and Tatiana Maslany, where they put their foot in their mouth constantly.
As I say all the time, we don't ask these people. We don't give. I want to cuss so bad, but I know we want to keep it PG. You know, we don't. We want them to perform, act, bring our characters that we love to life. I don't care about anything else outside of that. Your political views. I don't care what music you listen to. I don't care what you want to identify as. Just entertain me. Like,
I think they're hurting their own careers personally at this point.
I think so too. I think it's over for Mark Ruffalo. By the way, I think after this it's over for him.
Yeah, he's not in Doomsday.
Yeah,
I think if he appears again, Secret Wars will probably be his last appearance. Same for Brie Larson as Carol Danvers.
I think they will save her for one of these
for Rogue,
so Rogue can get her. That'll be her.
I could see that too. Yeah,
I could see that.
Oh yeah, that would be perfect.
Early in the X-Men movie, you know, she's this established how powerful the X-Men are. You know, Captain Marvel, who's been pretty much helmed as this all-powerful creature. And for Rogue to wreck her in the first 10 minutes, you know, with her being in like the Brotherhood or something and putting her in a coma or even taking her out and permanently absorbing her powers, what a great way to show, oh shit, these X-Men are no joke. And
Kevin Feige has said that he wants morally ambiguous characters for the X-Men. Like, that's the direction they want to go in. They've obviously established that in Brand New Day.
Jean Grey was a mental terrorist in that movie.
Crazy.
She was a straight up villain.
She was a straight up villain in Purple Man territory with the thing she used to torment Peter.
Yeah. She threw MJ off a freaking building.
I mean, she killed people for no reason. They had nothing to do with what happened.
They say no one died, but I don't know.
I doubt that. Didn't she have?
What about the people in the bomb? What about the car crashes when she was driving the tank? You know,
they're doing the old Black Widow thing. You know, she falls from a whole skyscraper in the sky, and she just kind of lands and does a superhero landing, even though her abilities as gymnast. What's her superpower? She can do the splits.
She's a spy. She can do stuff.
I'm like, aren't spies just sneaky? No. She can do stuff.
Hey, if she's a spy and she can do stuff and not get broken, what about James Bond in the movie The World Is Not Enough? In the beginning, he broke his arm trying to hang himself because he was about to fall off right in the intro of the movie. And then we see his recovery from the arm. So, you know, that spy excuse doesn't work, okay?
He's also a guy, so guys, we're not that tough. We're not as tough as a
Oh,
120
I
pound
forgot.
redhead.
I forgot about that. Woman power.
Woman power.
So,
So
so
go right ahead.
no, Sean, I just wanted to ask, who do you guys who do you guys think gets wiped out in this movie in Secret Wars?
So I'm thinking Bucky is gone, especially with him being Two-Face in the DCU. He's not going to be playing two roles. He's been in
They screwed him too. He was Bucky. Winter Soldier was clearly supposed to be handed down the shield as Captain America, like the source material, and then eventually it could have went to Sam. I'm fine with that, but my problem is all the foreshadowing.
Yeah, I think.
And then it's like, if you're not going to pass him the shield, what's his arc?
The whole point of Civil War with them, that fight where they jump Tony Stark and they're passing the shield, that was the foreshadowing right there. Like, okay, this guy gets.
Oh, it got heavy in that movie. Yeah,
It did.
But I think Bucky dies because once again his job is to punish Doom. I believe 90% of the X-Men are gonna die. Nightcrawler's done. Mystique is done. Professor X, you can't have an X-Men movie without
all the Fox X-Men are going to be cannon fodder.
Yeah, they're all good.
They're done.
Yeah,
It's a Hugh Jackman.
except Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds. Yeah,
right.
You think Hugh Jackman survives?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he survives. They're gonna split them off in their little X-Force. You know what I mean? Exiles, maybe dimension hopping or universe hopping thing. But that's what they're saying, that the Deadpool next sequel, Ryan Reynolds is going to go more into the background as a supporting character, and it's going to be an ensemble team.
Yeah.
X-Force.
I think they will, after Secret Wars and they reestablish a multiverse, I think Hugh Jackman, maybe Cable, they'll get a couple of people and they'll either do, like you said, an X-Force or,
Josh Brolin's Cable.
Yep, and hop around and kind of be the multiversal police to keep this from happening again. And
that's what the Exiles were in the comic, pretty much. Exactly. They were like the TVA kind of.
And I think
exactly
they'll introduce a younger, because if you're gonna have Jean, you can't have 60-year-old Hugh Jackman and 25-year-old Sadie Sink. That's really gross.
Yeah. So oh god.
They'll get a young 616 or whatever it ends up being called after Secret Wars. That's my theory anyway.
They'll firmly establish their young X-Men and then do a reverse Avengers and probably spin the Wolverine solo series out of that.
In fact, I would say the entire Thunderbolts team, except for Yelena and Sentry, are done.
I think they all die. I think Sentry.
Yeah, I think Sentry's gone. They're positioning Yelena as one of their centerpiece MCU characters going forward. That's why they forced her into Brand New Day and Hawkeye and this and this and that. She's not going anywhere. Florence Pugh is a hot star
and honestly,
in Hollywood.
I like her better than Scarlett Johansson. She's a better Black Widow than me because Scarlett Johansson never tried the Russian accent. She was just like, "Hey, I'm from
Blasphemy."
Yeah, at least Florence Pugh keeps like a Russian accent,
Yes.
Which I always feel.
Yeah, you're right.
I always feel like every appearance of Black Widow, aside from EMH in the future, like ever since the Iron Man 1966 cartoon, they always show Black Widow with a Russian accent, and even the Ultimate Avengers movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure off screen they're going to kill a lot of characters off screen. We know the Wasp is retired from acting. I think she got like a traumatic brain injury, so they'll probably kill her.
Oh no, really?
Yeah, she retired.
Ant-Man is gone too, I think.
Yeah.
I think so.
He's definitely going to. He should have died in Ant-Man.
Should have died in Quantumania.
They milked 3 movies out of that character. I still can't believe it.
Right. And what universe would we ever have got a Ant-Man movie if they had the X-Men to begin with. So they're going to clear the board. I think any character, if your movie hasn't made $1 billion, you are in danger of not making it out.
What do you think happens with Hemsworth Thor?
I think he sticks around.
I think he sticks around.
Really?
As all father, Odin, he's going to fade into the background, and I think Hercules is going to replace him.
Yeah, I think.
Hercules is in limbo right now, so we don't know.
Yeah,
anything
they're doing a sequel, no?
I've heard rumors. I take it with a grain of salt of a sequel, and they're going to continue with Hercules.
Yeah, I've heard.
I could see Thunderstrike too. I mean, Kevin Masterson, but are they going to go that deep cut into the comics? I doubt it.
No.
We haven't even seen Beta Ray Bill yet, and I think he'll be in the Thor Corps when they do Secret Wars. I think we'll see Beta Ray Bill.
That could be a transition there too, possibly. He's more popular than Kevin Masterson is Thunderstrike.
Yeah, I think Hemsworth is safe. I think RDJ may even stick around afterwards as Tony Stark because I don't know if you guys seen it, but Disney is doing a new attraction that has RDJ back as Tony Stark.
Really?
No, I did not know that.
He's already filmed it. It's got him, Captain America, and that doesn't come out till 2028, the ride. So why would they do a Disney attraction if they had plans of casting a Tony Stark? I don't.
Do you guys remember that Disney Cruise mini movie with Ant-Man and the Young Avengers
and Miss Marvel,
Sam Wilson?
Yes.
Versus Ultron. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very similar to that. This new ride, I think it's called Avengers Initiative or something, and they brought back Sam Wilson. They brought back RDJ, Chris Evans, a lot of characters for that ride. And even though it's not in canon, it just doesn't make sense. So I could see RDJ doing a double duty and just, once again, not being in every movie, but in the background. You look at an X-Men.
I think he might stay as Doom. That's what I think.
I think he's going to play both, since Doom wears a mask anyway.
True.
Well, definitely.
And it's disfigured.
Yeah, he's disfigured. He has a different voice. I could see him being.
Yeah.
They're not going to one-shot Dr. Doom and put him in 2 movies and never show him again, especially if they somehow end up putting the Fantastic Four in this new universe. You got to have that connection of Reed and Doom.
Yeah, because it's already confirmed by the latest trailer that Dr. Doom comes from the Fantastic Four First Steps universe.
Yeah,
Right.
Universe 838. That was one of my biggest issues with this movie. How do you can't have a movie of Doom without tackling his dynamic to the Fantastic Four, especially Reed. And I'm happy that we are getting that on some level.
I think the problem was we're getting everything about Doom and Doomsday instead of at least getting us a mid or after credit scene, building up Doom, not simply showing him with Franklin. That's the problem that I think happened. They didn't even get Dr. Doom in the background. Like, don't show him, but talk about Victor Von Doom at least.
Yeah. It's a shame that I feel like they're going the Spider-Man route with him already fully established, and he'll briefly talk about his origin. One thing I don't like is the idea of him having a child. I wish they would stick to his motivation being his mother, because Doom is not his true love, but Valeria, he made armor out of her skin.
Valeria. You're right. I know
he sacrificed her, basically.
Yeah.
He sacrificed her. No, I know, but you said Valeria, and I instantly thought of Valeria Richards. Sorry.
Yeah, me too. That's where my mind
he
went.
named their daughter because that was his true love. So, it's a lot of heavy lifting Doomsday has to do. And I think that's
he's also from the Fantastic Four universe, right?
Yeah, that's established.
First Steps universe, yeah.
Went to school with Reed and all of that.
Well, I don't know if he went to school, but they showed you in the last trailer. Sue knows who he is. They know. So does Reed.
Yeah, because
What did you
And
do,
they
Bigfoot?
confirmed it too.
What did you do?
And I hate Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, he was one of the worst Reed options that they could have possibly
I
decided.
wish it was
Well,
Penn.
that's
I
what
wish
they wanted. They wanted
MCU.
girl boss Sue Richards, and
Yes.
they wanted to make her the POV main character. And
You
so Reed
had
was
John
sidelined.
Krasinski. You had
No,
him.
yeah,
And
they had
Emily
him,
Blunt.
but
And
that
they're
was
actually
cannon
married.
fodder. That was cannon fodder. That's why they took out young Krasinski. Was basically they casted him in Multiverse of Madness just so they could kill him off and say to fans, "Hey, there's John Krasinski as Mr.
Yeah, to shut
Fantastic."
people up. That's all it was for, is to shut people up. Yeah. I think that was one of the big problems with a lot of people have with Multiverse of Madness. I think it's one of the better films since Endgame, but they expected Secret Wars. People
Yeah.
expected full on big Endgame, huge cameo, you know what I mean?
Well,
And they were just ended up being cannon fodder.
Well, the problem with Multiverse of Madness is not only that expectation, but also a little bit it didn't live up to its title, Multiverse of Madness. We barely saw any multiverse in it, you know?
They literally crashed through the planes for 2 seconds, and it was almost
the legitimate gripe.
Insulting, where they were like, a paint universe.
Yeah.
Really? That's
Yeah,
your
but honestly,
cartoon universe.
Honestly, I feel like for MCU Reed Richards, I think Penn Bagley should have been Reed Richards, you know.
I agree.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm wondering, do we get to see
I
any
would have
of the
even
Fox
took
Fantastic
Dev
Four?
Patel as race swap Reed over Pedro.
You know what? I would agree with you. Pedro is not meant for everything, and everything is not meant for Pedro.
No.
Like,
He
he just
took off the mustache. No.
Not at all. So, what are your guys' biggest hope out of Doomsday, and what is your biggest fear coming out of Doomsday?
I think the biggest fear that it's probably going to be more like a spectacle than an actual hope of what type of movies we're going to see for the MCU.
More spectacle than solid, engaging storytelling.
I would agree. I agree. That is my fear too. That it's a spectacle. That this movie and Secret Wars are amazing, and then we go back to the slot. That was Phase 4 and 5. That's my fear. But I do hope that we kill off a bunch of these nonsense characters that nobody cares about.
I think US Agent is going to die, but the funny thing is, we're supposed to hate John Walker, but I like MCU John Walker. Like, he was the highlight of Thunderbolts for me.
He's more sympathetic than the comics version.
Exactly.
That's
way more. Way more. I could kind of understand his point of view. You know, you sit, you kill my best friend in front of me, and I have these powers. I'm. It's not like he just killed a dude on the street. The guy was indeed a terrorist.
Yes,
I think it's because they caught him in 3D, man, like worldwide, viral. Yeah,
he did it in 4K
decapitated him basically.
I mean, he deserved it though. To be fair, I mean, like what you know.
Yeah, but if he did it off camera, I think he may have been okay.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He's gonna die. Red Guardian is gonna die.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're out. They're all gone. I think Sentry's gone too. He's too OP.
I think it's gonna last until Secret Wars.
I think he's gonna replace Molecule Man, and Doom's gonna be using him as some kind of power source, or he's gonna be locked in the basement.
Yeah,
he's gonna be locked in the dungeon somewhere. Yeah,
I agree.
He'll be released and he'll wreak havoc. You know.
I have hopes. I
didn't think about that.
Huge spectacle action set piece with the Sentry.
Definitely. Well, guys,
hey, I'm gonna show this to Ty and to everybody here on the stream, but Ty might scream like a vampire when he sees a cross if I show him this.
Oh wow!
Thunderbolts DVD.
You bought it.
I liked it. I
Wow.
know it has its faults, but I think it's good.
I know you and Sean like it more than me. I think I'm just hypercritical.
It
No,
was
no,
better than
I see a lot of faults in it, but I kind of liked it because some of the approach was kind of good. But yeah, it's kind of weak. But I
my
kind of like the
biggest
dynamic.
problem with the Thunderbolts is that it wasn't a true Thunderbolts movie. You were right there. You had Red Hulk,
Yeah.
played by Harrison Ford. You have a super underutilized Baron Zemo, who's a fantastic actor.
Abomination
You have
was a highlight of She-Hulk.
You have
and
Justin Hammer out there. There's so many characters that we've kind of washed away that would have made more sense. And been more true to the comic book. And you still could have had some of these characters, Ghost and Red Guardian. I also have my biggest problem with Brand New Day was that we already had the Captain America origin story and Captain America and the Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
And then they did it again instead of just having Sam should have already had an Avengers team coming into that movie.
Oh, Brave New World.
Yeah, Brave New World. Brand New Day. My apologies. Those 3-word names get me every time. It was just and then the way it was Frankenstein chopped up, you could see the reshoots everywhere. Marvel has to start having a script before you announce a date. They're gonna have to do that.
This plussing formula all the way up into reshoots, they've got to stop it.
Everybody wasn't built to do that. Making a movie.
It's like I say, those MCU Disney Plus TV shows, they feel like a movie chopped up in 2 episodes.
Yes, absolutely. Especially, and I'll never say this name again as long as we do this. Secret Wars was the biggest bowl.
Oh, Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion. My apologies.
Yeah, it was awful, man.
How do you waste?
You can see there was potential, but my god,
there was potential in the first 2 episodes, but then
that finale is one of the worst Disney Plus episodes. I think the worst, actually.
Yeah.
Nothing worse than Gaia, and she's like, "Let me show you my Drax arm for a reason, for no reason."
Oh god.
I mean,
it's my arm. I'm just gonna change my arm.
The Fury guy.
With Gaia, the other Super Skrulls are useless because she has more than 4 powers.
Well, she literally potentially became the most powerful character in the MCU, and then you never see her again, ever to be spoken or seen again.
They're never going to touch. And then the way they just killed off Maria Hill.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was the worst thing they did in that, actually. I forgot about that.
That was episode 2 or 3, was it?
I think it was the first episode. Yeah.
First episode.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I
Even
just watched that show. I remember she was killed.
And then
the way they cut Sam Jackson, Nick Fury, I mean, they destroyed the character. I don't think he's been seen since either.
No, I think he dies in Doomsday if he makes an appearance.
I don't think he's going to be in Doomsday. I don't think they're going to.
I don't either. I think they're going to totally avoid it like Inhumans. That's how big of an embarrassment flop that was. They spent what they spent on the average MCU movie on it, like 250 million, 225 million.
Yeah.
I mean, they spent a huge amount of money on that show. And my gripe is you guys ruined the scrolls going forward. You can't use them for Fantastic Four. I felt like that show should have been Captain Marvel 2 Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
Secret Invasion could have been the whole Phase 4.
Yes.
Yeah, if you wanted to, yeah.
It could have been the whole Phase 4. Imagine you do a Hawkeye show. Hawkeye dies, and you're like, shit, we lost Hawkeye. And he turns to a scroll.
And it's a scroll, yeah.
And you're like,
it
what
would have been better.
That would have been the connective tissue for an entire phase.
An entire phase. The fact that they haven't confirmed, but we may find out that Rhodey has been a scroll since the end of Civil War. What?
That's what they said officially. Yeah, erased
that's what they said officially.
Everything.
So
Yeah,
you
They,
told me all of Endgame that was a scroll?
yep, they
a lot of
ruined the
people didn't
emotional
like that.
impact. They
He's
ruined the emotional impact of Rhodey with Tony dying.
he's literally
Yeah,
so Rhodey wakes up and he's like, "Oh, where's Tony? He's been
He's
dead
dead.
for 5 years. What?"
we
Just
haven't seen Rhodey either. I don't think everybody in that show has been avoided since. I think.
they've got the cooties. They really curse that entire cast.
And then look what happened with the Marvels. They tried to replace her like they were going to do with Blade. They made her like third lead in their own film. I think that's why it was such a flop.
Well,
I mean,
nobody saw. And then even Sam Jackson, Nick Fury was in the Marvels, which took place after Secret Invasion, and he was totally different character wise.
yeah,
They never even showed his Skrull wife, and we're like, damn, Sam's been banging a Skrull for like 25 years. It's crazy.
that kiss was weird too at the end. It was real awkward, man.
I like you just the way you are, you green mutant.
And then she, I don't know, man.
Well, at least it wasn't a James Gunn fetish, okay?
I felt like Secret Invasion should have been Captain Marvel 2, Secret Invasion, and then it should have been like Civil War level, like Avengers 2.0 type of thing. You know what I mean? You've got
2.5.
War Machine, you've got Sam Wilson, you've got Bucky, you've got all these characters to work with. I think they may even had U.S. Agent by that time, Ms. Marvel, Monica Rambeau. You've got all these characters to use enough to do a Secret Invasion successfully and establish Sam's new Avengers.
They had a ton of opportunities to establish Sam's new Avengers, to establish them in Doomsday, where they're all going to be cannon fodder. Was such a once again, it was a situation where greed. That's why I always say it's the biggest sin. Marvel's had Disney Plus. They didn't know the pandemic was going to happen. They didn't know the writer strike was going to happen. They didn't know the actor strike was going to happen. So they put all this hodgepodge stuff, announced stuff with no plan, no direction. You ended up with 2 phases without an Avengers movie. You damaged the IP to almost an unrecognizable state, and now they're trying to course correct. And then you pick Kang, who's an interesting character, but not a big bad. Kang's whole thing is he loses all the time, but you can't get rid of him.
Yes.
And you have him get murdered.
Well, my problem, I think Kang is a solid villain, but the problem is you kill him off in his first 2 appearances before you don't even do an Avengers movie or even get to Young Avengers. You kill him off.
Avengers.
You kill him off in his 2 first appearances. You just totally destroy him as a credible threat to me. And then, like I told Mick, if you're going to kill him off in Quantumania,
Sacrifice.
Everybody's got to die except Cassie, or you at least got to kill Hank off. I mean, Michael Douglas is getting old as hell. He said he wants to be done with the character. Like, what are you keeping him around for?
Yeah, absolutely. Have him go out as a hero.
I mean, Scott Lang dies in the comics, and that's what pushes her to be a hero. So, like, y'all, somebody's got to be sacrificed.
Yeah, I think
that's the problem. You get your big bad guy, and you just kill him off without somebody dying, without any consequences,
unceremoniously.
Yeah.
Literally, in the ending, he's skipping having cake. He's like, yeah, well, yeah. What a waste of Ant-Man. What a waste of Kang. And I like Jonathan Majors as an actor. I think they really overreacted by getting him. He was not convicted of sexual assault or something heinous.
No, it was like stuff that you usually don't even go to court for a misdemeanor.
He took a girl.
So big.
He was railroaded on that anyway, in my opinion. You see the videotape of him running 5 blocks down the street and being pursued by her.
Right. She was after him like Terminator 2, but he's the bad guy.
Doesn't make sense, but we know what it is.
I thought it was weird.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Guys, we are out of time for this episode. We had another topic for you guys. But like I said, we'll be back. And we're gonna be back every week. Look forward to some reactions to the new Green Arrow, the Lanterns show. We don't need another Arrow show right now. You have failed this city, but I'm really excited.
Tell that to James Gunn.
No James Gunn. But I'm really excited to be on this journey with you guys. I can't wait to let you guys know more of what we're doing. It's going to be a ton more content. So this is just the beginning of a fantastic journey that I can't wait. So before we go, if you guys want to if you want to share your social media where people can find you, I want to give you guys an opportunity to let them know where they can find you. So go right ahead, guys. Let everybody know where they can find you in case they want to see some more of what you're doing.
At the moment, I'm not having any social media, but I will have it soon.
I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm just kind of in the process of building some stuff right now. This is the jumping off point for me.
Absolutely. Well, you know where you guys go right ahead.
For me, you guys can find me on Discord if you game DVERITAS24, and it's the same thing for my Twitch and my YouTube. I'm gonna be reactivating, going back to streaming on Twitch, and I'm gonna restart my YouTube channel as well under those names. So may cover some wrestling, some boxing, and some other stuff on the side too.
Perfect. And it's about to be a big year for gaming. We got Wolverine coming out. We've got, of course, Grand Theft Auto, and that's supposed to come out.
That's gonna be huge.
Yeah, that's huge, man. 3 months. 3 months.
3 months or so, barring any. So we've got
3 months for the economy to be paralyzed by GTA 6.
Yeah, you're right. That's not happening.
I've already taken a day off. I feel a cold coming 3 months in advance. So no work will be done. And ladies, if you don't buy your man these games, prepare to have a bad Christmas. We don't ask for much. You better get your man these games.
That's a must buy.
That's a must. Yep.
Must buy. If it's not under his tree or in his birthday sack, prepare to be exchanged. I'm just giving you guys fair warning. But, it's been a fantastic conversation with you guys. Like we always ask, make sure that you like, comment, subscribe to the channel. There'll be more to come from us. I appreciate you guys, and of course, if you're following,
definitely a pleasure.
Yes, sir. If you guys are listening, make sure to leave a comment, and of course, YouTube. Just go at Down in the Den on YouTube. Give us a follow. Got a ton of
like and subscribe,
like we do at about this time. And other than that, we're out this piece, guys. It's been a pleasure, and we'll see you guys next week.
Deuces.
Catch you next time.
Indeed.
And out.
We're out.